Samsung Galaxy S9, rumors, specs, release date, and more. Android TV review. The Galaxy S9 is on its way, and this is everything we know so far about Samsung's next flagship. Even today, there's no denying that the Galaxy S8 is still one of the best looking phones on the market. Its Quad HD AMOLED Infinity display is a thing of beauty, its camera takes excellent photos, and even Samsung's software is finally enjoyable for once. All of the greatness found with the S8 has put a lot of pressure and expectations on the S9, and although it probably won't be as big of an upgrade as the S8 was from the S7, it'll still likely be one of the best phones of 2018. The Galaxy S9 will look a lot like the S8. If you were hoping for a big design upgrade with the S9, you better stop now, before you get your hopes up too much. A CAD render of the Galaxy S9 reveals what will most likely be the final look for the device, and although it's not a big change from the S8, that's really not a bad thing. The S9 will have extremely tiny bezels around its display with a metal frame and glass back, but there is a change to the placement of the fingerprint sensor. We still don't understand Samsung's reasoning for putting the fingerprint sensor on the S8 where it did, but with the S9, it will be placed below the camera lens. In other words, unlocking a Samsung phone with your finger will no longer make you want to rip out your hair. Woohoo. Bezels are going to keep shrinking. Speaking of that infinity display, the S9 is expected to make it even more impressive than it already is on the S8. The screen-to-body ratio of the Galaxy S8 Plus is still a thing of beauty at 84%, but according to a tip that Sam Mobile received, the S9 Plus will kick things up a notch with a screen-to-body ratio of 90%. A 6% increase might not sound big on paper, but this will theoretically result in a virtually non-existent bezel for the S9's chin and a top bezel that's even smaller than the bottom one found on the S8. I don't think we've ever heard anyone complain about the S8 having big bezels, so the fact that the S9 could reduce their size even more admittedly has us quite giddy. The S9 will be announced on February 26th. During CES 2018, Samsung's president of mobile confirmed that the Galaxy S9 will be announced in February at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Spain. The convention officially begins on February 26th, and according to a C-level executive at a case maker that Evan Blass spoke with, this is the exact day when the S9 will launch. Pre-orders for the phone will be quick to follow on March 1st, and shipments will then go out a couple weeks later on March 16th. This would see Samsung releasing the phone about a month earlier than it did with the Galaxy S8 last year, but you won't find us complaining about that at all. Iris scanning improvements to take on Face ID. Samsung might have been first to market with face/eye scanning technology as a way for biometrically unlocking your phone compared to Apple, but it's no secret that Face ID is superior to Samsung's iris scanning technology that's found on the Galaxy S8. Unsurprisingly, Samsung will be improving its iris scanning system on the S9 to either meet or beat Apple's solution. A report from the Korea Herald says that Samsung will be upgrading the front-facing camera on the S9 from 2MP up to 3MP, and this will allow for faster scanning, even when users are wearing glasses or in dark environments. The time it takes to unlock the S9 using iris scanning will be shorter than the current 1-second time on the S8, and there will also be improvements on the software side of things to make iris scanning just as, if not more, secure than Face ID. Only the S9 Plus will get dual rear cameras, but both will have a variable aperture. Samsung's first phone to ship with dual cameras was the Note 8, and as expected, this is a feature that'll trickle over to the S9. However, only the larger Galaxy S9 Plus is reported to receive this treatment. The smaller S9 will retain a single camera, and while we don't expect it to take bad photos, this disparity between the smaller and larger variants is new for Samsung. On that same note, the S9 Plus will also receive a small performance boost with an upgraded 6GB of RAM compared to the S9's 4GB count. Reserving the dual camera system for just the larger S9 is certainly a bummer for those that prefer smaller handsets, but no matter if you choose the S9 or S9 Plus, it looks like you'll be able to use something even cooler: variable aperture. A leaked image recently surfaced showing the back of a retail box for the S9, and next to super speed dual pixel 12MP OIS it says f1.5/f2.4. We've been able to digitally change aperture settings on phone cameras for some time now, but this would suggest that the S9 has an aperture that can be physically changed. This is something that Samsung showed off with its W2018 flip phone in China last December, and it too had a variable aperture of f/1.5 and f/2.4. Assuming this is actually present on the S9, we'll be looking at a phone that should offer exceptional low-light camera performance. Don't worry, the 3.5mm headphone jack will remain. One trend we've seen throughout 2017 is the rapid removal of the 3.5mm headphone jack. This is something that the likes of Apple, Google, Motorola, and HTC have all been more than willing to follow suit with, but we shouldn't have to worry about this with the S9. VentureBeat's same source supposedly confirmed that the Galaxy S9 will keep the headphone jack, and this lines up with a leaked case render for the phone that shows a covered section for the coveted port. Additionally, the CAD renders mentioned above also show the S9 with this battery increase of 200 mAh. There's not much to dislike about the Galaxy S8, but aside from the phone's awkward fingerprint sensor, one area that can be an annoyance is battery life. The S8's battery isn't bad, but it's also not the best we saw on a phone in 2017. According to someone that supposedly has a test unit of the upcoming device, the Galaxy S9 will come equipped with a slightly larger battery of 3200 mAh. That's not a huge increase compared to the S8's 3000 mAh pack, but a larger battery is still a larger battery. Additionally, this larger pack should also be accompanied by Quick Charge 3.0. 512 GB of storage? Yep. When you go to buy a Galaxy S9 next year, you may very well have the option of purchasing one with 512 GB of internal storage. Samsung announced on December 5th that it had begun mass producing the mobile industry's first 512 GB chips, and although not directly mentioned, we wouldn't be surprised to see this extra storage make its way to the S9/S9 Plus. Larger internal storage will always have the benefit over expansions with microSD cards. So with this much space to work with, it'll be interesting to see if Samsung tries axing the microSD card slot like it did with the S6 in 2015. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video Android TV review, please share, like, comment and subscribe. Have a nice day.